affection, passion, corruption. They have become callous and have given themselves up to sensuality, greedy to practice every kind of impurity. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 19, the English Standard Version. A part of the call for the Gentiles of the church at Ephesus to be symbolically less Gentile in their beliefs and practices and reflect the holy calling, the Apostle Paul offers 3 more compelling turnoffs to the life of Gentile unbelievers in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 19, which are in addition to the 2 given in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 18. In the text for today, the Apostle Paul condemns unbelievers' affection, passion, and corruption. Affection has to do with feelings, endearment, and compassion. In 2 Peter, the author, the Apostle Simon Peter, explains the Christian call and election. In verses 5 through to 7, he notes, "For this very reason, you must make every effort to support your faith with excellence, and excellence with knowledge, and knowledge with self-control, and self-control with endurance, and endurance with godliness, and godliness with mutual affection, and mutual affection with love." In the text for today, the Apostle Paul describes unbelievers as lacking affection. He says, they have become callous. The Greek word apalgio, that has been translated callous, is used only here in the Bible and is defined by strong concordance as to cease to feel pain for. Unbelievers, the Apostle Paul is saying, have become numb and heartless. You have heard of the gruesome murders and cruel rapes of the innocent. Unbelievers cease to care. They are desensitized to sin and recklessness. A part of practical theology, believers are required to show affection. It was the Apostle Paul who says in Romans chapter 12, verse 18, the New Revised Standard Version, "Love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another in showing honor." Further, the Apostle Paul expresses concern about the unbeliever's passion. In this context, passion has to do with intense sexual love. The Apostle Paul says unbelievers have put themselves under the control of their sexual urges of all designations. Paul uses the Greek term aselgia, which means wantonness, conduct shocking to public decency, which is often on display during carnival time. It is this type of cultural lewdness that the Apostle Paul says is contrary to the believer's holy calling. This sinful passion, the Apostle Paul believes, is self-imposed. He says, unbelievers inflict it on themselves as they give themselves up to it. But believers are not so, but are eager to confirm their call and election. For if they do this, they will never stumble, according to 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 10, the New Revised Standard Version. Moreover, the Apostle Paul alludes to the corruption of unbelievers, which is a further drawback. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 19, the text for today, the writer says, "The unbelieving Gentiles are greedy to practice every kind of impurity." Unbelievers seem eager to burst the boundaries of human corruption. They lack scruples, and there are no limits to their dishonest fraudulence. Here, the Apostle Paul went at length to remind believers that this is not how they are to live. Such impurity, the Apostle Paul opined, is displeasing to God, evident in Romans chapter 1 verse 24, chapter 6 verse 19, 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 21, Galatians chapter 5 verse 19, Colossians chapter 3 verse 5, and 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3 and chapter 4 verse 7. Lord, you have used one Apostle Paul to disclose the character that believers should engender. Oh, help us, Lord, to live godly lives, following Jesus the way, the truth, and the life. Amen. You have been listening to Morning Manna with Reverend Bonnie EBW Smith, Superintendent of the Moravian Church Antigua Conference and Minister of Christian Education. Have a thoughtful Thursday. God bless you.